And it's really important to remember that stress is not out there, it's really internal.
So we as a society are stressed out. We are being bombarded with more information than we've ever been hit with before. We have more responsibility. We have economic turmoil. Does stress really manifest itself only physically, or is it something more?
Oh, I find that stress is in every part of life, mental, physical, emotional, even spiritual. It's like carrying a 50-pound weight you can't put down. It's draining, it's exhausting, it's overwhelming, and it can't help but affect everything you do. It makes you irritable with friends and family and coworkers. It takes away your focus at work or at school, and you don't have any fun anymore.
I'm getting mad and tired just talking about it. What about you? Do you run into a lot of stress?
That's one of the biggest things I see in my practice, people coming in with lots of anxiety-related issues, and it's really all about stress. And it's not just the emotional toll that they take, but it is a lot of physical stuff that they have going on. And those are some of the things that we start to work on right away, trying to balance the physical stuff and the physical symptoms with some of the emotional ones.
Is it increasing, or has it gotten worse?
It's dramatically increasing, and I think it's important to bring up the difference between men and women when it comes to stress. Women are actually experiencing more stress. If you look at a brain scan of moderate stress, women will have 8 times more blood flow to the emotional part of the brain. And if this is consistent, then she depletes her of serotonin, which is associated with the feeling of relief and comfort and ease. And so when we get down to the biology of stress, we see that when men are feeling successful and their testosterone levels are high or normal, their stress levels are low. But for women, their testosterone can be high. They're solving problems, fixing things, meeting challenges. It doesn't lower their stress levels, but it's the relationship, the quality of personal support she has in her life that stimulates the hormone oxytocin, which now we're seeing so much research on, which is the direct hormone associated with lowering stress for women. So the relationship skills are so important for women and so important for men, because we don't feel successful, then our testosterone goes down.
And it's really important to remember that stress is not out there, it's really internal.
Say some more about that.
So if we are consciously aware of where we're at internally and we start making conscious choices, it will really depend and determine the degree to which we experience stress. So really need to understand what causes our reactions and start working inside out.
But there is good stress and bad stress. I mean, there are times in your life where you have to rise up into the face of adversity and do something important and powerful, and that's a stressful thing to have happen.
Well, I just want to reinforce what you just said. Actually, all outer stress is good stress. We have to be challenged, whether it be a death, not that that's a good thing, but we can always grow from it, or we can hang into it or die through it. And it's how we're responding to it, and both psychologically and physically, how we're dealing with stress. It's our reaction to it that really is what determines whether we're healthy, we're loving, we're happy, we're fulfilled. It's how we're able to respond to it. You can't learn how to respond to it in a positive way without having the experience of facing the stress.
I know for me, good stress sometimes is having a deadline. I'm a journalist, I write articles for Your Tango, sometimes I have a deadline, and that is a good stress. It helps me focus. But I have to make sure my loved ones don't bother me during that time, or I get even more stressed, and then it gets a little on the other side.
Well, there you are finding a coping mechanism so that you're dealing with stress in a healthy way.
Right.
One of the main things as coaches, what we all experience is how powerful it is, particularly for women, sometimes for men, particularly powerful just to talk about how you feel. Because when you're expressing how you feel about the stress in your life, it might sound like complaining to some people, but actually talking about your feelings generates a hormone, oxytocin, and oxytocin does lower stress in women. One of the reasons men aren't always drawn to counseling and talking about feelings is that oxytocin actually is now shown to lower testosterone in men. So unless a man has a lot of upset going on, talking about feelings may not be the most important thing for him. For him, it's more about strategy and understanding things differently. That's true for women, but more important for women to also first lower the stress through being able to talk about what they feel and somebody who understands.
So when it comes to stress, there's no way we can solve everything instantly, but what I'm hearing from everyone is that we really want to be as empathetic and listening to our partners as much as we can, channel stress effectively, look for some problem-solving techniques on our own, and not take it personally if our partner is experiencing their own stress in their own lives.